Galway, is in Ireland, and I'm here with Finnabair brand and Prima Marketing to work a little bit on the altered Christmas tree. So I give you a moment to join. We're going to post the link in the Facebook group as well. If you have a place that you'd like to share the link to this video, which is perfect for beginners, this is the right moment to do so. So I hope you are going to join because we are starting any moment now. I will just check to see if I can see myself. Hello Asia, cześć, cześć. Jak masz jakieś miejsce, gdzie chcesz wrzucić link, na przykład zapostować w jakiejś grupie polskiej, to będę bardzo wdzięczna. Hello, hello, how are you? I can see you are joining. That's great. Hello, hello. Oh, 21 people. That was quick. That was quick. Let me check everything. Okay. I can see the live stream is starting. I can see Iran. I can see Sarah, Caroline. Perfect. Perfect. Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you are having a right moment to create. We're going to play with a really tiny project today, but it is a great excuse to talk a little bit about all the rules, important things to remember when you are doing basic altered art. So this is perfect for beginners, and if you are new to that concept, this is the right video for you to learn which products are the most important, what is on the top of your list when you are getting ready for that, and yeah, giving you some ideas and tips and tricks on the top of the tiny IKEA IKEA Christmas tree. I have another one. This is the Christmas tree before alteration. You can see this is quite bright green in a plastic container, and this is after adding some embellishments. Hello Sarah, I'm happy that you are here to learn, and we are going to start in about 2-3 minutes. This is the right moment to ask any questions. So if you'd like to know something and you would like to maybe check again the product list, that would be the right moment to do so. Give me a second, I'll be right back.
Nie wiem, Iniu, sorry, to jest... A nic nie zrobiłem. Właśnie o to chodzi, że nic nie zrobiłem.
I'm here, just give me a second. Sorry for that. That was a short problem with internet connection. So hello everybody again. I can see we have 42 people already, and I would love you to have a look at the product list I prepared for you. So you could see there's products such as glitters, some found objects, and there were things such as heavy body gel, there were paints, and there was a little bit of wax. There was suggestion to use the pebbles. all of that will be really useful. But one more thing that is good to have on hand is to have hot glue, especially we're going to decorate the tree, so it's much easier to stick delicate elements in between the branches with the hot glue gun and the glue stick. And it is good to have some good scissors nearby, something that is going to help you cut things which are maybe plastic or that are going to be made of metal or maybe some kind of cardboard. These are very useful tools. Then of course some brushes and water and something to glue, and I recommend heavy body gel and some soft gel, so a very thick gel medium and quite liquid gel medium. So I'm very glad to see you all. Hello to Barcelona, welcome to the studio. And there are questions I can see. When we sign up for your new class, will there be a place to choose what language we are needing? Yes, the new class, which is already open, is on my website, finnabairartstudio.com, and there will be separate products for each language. So you just need to find the one that is in your language. So for example, Finnabair collage, forest witch English, or forest witch Spanish, or forest witch French. So there are 4 languages, and you can pick the one that is the right for you. And that means when you're buying the class, you also get the description in that language. So not only the videos are with subtitles, but you also have the whole text, all the PDF files and all the comments written in that language. So there are 4 different languages available. The project is a big collage, the style that you can see behind me here, and I will post the website for you quickly. So I will do it on the second phone. Hopefully that is going to work. Okay, finnabairartstudio.com. And now is the time for the early bird. So that means for a week, basically 6 days, you get the price of 32 euro. And that means you can get it for Christmas for yourself, or you can order a gift card. There's also gift card option to buy, and you can get it for your best friend, or you can ask somebody to be your Christmas gift Santa Claus person and to give it to you. So there are options for you. Caroline did it already. Hello to Peru. Thank you so much. Talking about Peru, if you are a Spanish speaking person, there is a Spanish version of that class as well. So you can get English with Spanish subtitles version. And that means you can have easier access to the videos. It's easier to understand it because everything was translated for you by native Spanish person. So that should be helpful, of course. So I posted the link to the website, that is finnabairartstudio.com, and you can start checking the new class any moment now. And I just remind you, we have 1 week of early bird, 32 euro, which equals to about 37 to 38 United States dollars, I think. And then it goes to a regular price of 37 euro, and it's going to be lifetime access and instant access, which means you get the access to it forever and you get it right away after signing up. So this is the full-time collage class, 1 hour 50 minutes of videos and PDF file and video which is about the products. So I think it's easy. You just have to go to the shop part of the website, and there will be listed 4 similar collage projects. It's the same image, and then you just pick the one which is in your language. So that is the best. Oh, thank you. 36.20 United States dollars. Thank you, Amanda. So even better. And it's a great idea for the Christmas gift if you have somebody who would love to do um, some steps in mixed media. That is the great one because it is my signature style and it's explained really step by step, and there's also separate video on all of the products, and there's information how these are supposed to be used. So that is I think something that was going to be helpful for you. So yeah, gift to myself, exactly. And Nuneka is here. She is one of my brand ambassadors, and she's responsible for the Spanish translation of that class as well. She was the one who kindly translated the video. She made subtitles for Spanish. So if you have any questions in Spanish, maybe she can help. And we are going to start now, and I'm going to show you what is on my table because I think this is the right time. We have most of the people watching, and first of all, we're going to look at the products, and I will explain why these are important when you do some altered art. So we are going to use something which is made of plastic, and it's not very expensive item, but we are going to look much more sophisticated and more fun. So it is good to know what you can do and how you can play with these things to make them feel a little bit more sophisticated. This is the whole point of altered art, in fact, to change the usual objects into art pieces. And of course, this is just a simple home decor, but you can make really artistic installations using techniques that I'm going to show you today. So I think it's going to be really, really fun. So let's have a look at the table. Let me flip the camera for you. Okay, I prepared like a little tray where I've got most of my supplies ready. And I've got my little Christmas tree, and this is the original Christmas tree, the one that the one I made in advance to take a nice photo and to plan the work for you as well. I wanted you to have the best possible experience. So, first of all, what do we need? When it comes to the items, some kind of object we want to alter. In this case, it's a plastic Christmas tree in a plastic pot. It can be any other. It's just an idea. Objects that may be useful. I have some prepared moss that may be used to fill the space on the bottom of the tree. It's one of the ideas. I've got this little cute dough. You can see it's a little bit different to this one. They just go other way. So this is just a small figurine from a set you can buy in the shop with toys. Like toy shop will have different kind of animals. This is really small baby deer, like a Bambi. And I've got some findings from last year's Christmas decoration section. So usually after Christmas, they will have some leftovers in the supermarket, the things that you were supposed to buy to make atmosphere at home, but then it's after season and they sell it quite cheap. So I got some of the little pine cones and some little nuts. They're really useful. I have some kind of leaf that is going to be useful. And I've got a bit of the mechanicals, which are metal embellishments, and some of the Christmas tree lights. So Christmas tree lights, if you are decorating your house now, there's quite a chance you may have some of these spare because they are broken and they are not working anymore. So you can keep these for decoration and use them in the projects. I have the whole container of these just in case. I've got some metal trinkets. And these are the ones that may be very good for the front decoration of the Christmas tree. And I've got some pebbles. You can also use some leaves at the front, for example, fern leaves like that, or monstera leaves, because why not? I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use, but that is another idea. Glitters in the right color, the one that you really like to have for your Christmas decoration. So maybe shades of silver, maybe shades of gold. This is like iridescent blue white, so the good imitation of snow. And because this is the project when we don't want to use too many expensive art mediums, we need something which is going to be transparent sticky glue. For example, for glitter. So soft gloss gel is a very good solution for that. It's going to be liquid gel medium. Something heavier for sticking more complicated things and big metal objects. For example, heavy body gel or any other similar sticky and thick gel medium. Of course, we need gesso. And this is probably the most important product. And because it's a Christmas project, it is much better. I'm just looking for the gesso now. It is much better to have some white gesso on hand. And I can see my white gesso. Yeah, it was hiding. It is here, white gesso. And for the deer, if you'd like to make element like that with a lot of shadows, you can also use black acrylic paint or black gesso for this. So we have two gels and we have gesso. And this is basically most of the art mediums. When it comes to the colors, I made my combination on a pearl white and a very silvery blue colors. These are my metallic paints. I used Ice Queen, perfect name for this alteration, I think. This is the blue with a tiny bit of lavender in it and a lot of silver. And yes, because why not? And this is a white pearl color, very popular. You can see it's almost empty now. And this one is just white pearl. So it will be great to add some highlights. Also, I wanted to look more vintage, especially I'm using brown pine cones. So I added a little bit of the vintage brown color. I have a liquid acrylic brown sienna. This color is flat, transparent, liquid acrylic. There's no shimmer in it, so it's going to be very neutral. So that is the most of it. If you want to give a little bit of makeover to the doe figure, the doe or deer figurine, you can do it with acrylic paints. I used wax, which was called Bronze Age, and I will show you that as well. So we are going to start in a moment. I'm just showing you the project from different angles. And if you like what you are seeing and you would like to see how it was all done, give me thumbs up. And we are starting in a second. I got these leaves just in case if I want to use the same ones. So first of all, preparation of the object. Okay, this video is made especially for people who are beginners in mixed media. So the plan is to show you the most important steps and clearly explain why they are so important. In the projects when you are using unusual surfaces, if you are using something which is not a blank canvas, it's very important to prepare it before really doing any special artwork, because these surfaces they're not meant to be painted. They were just planned to be at the display, right? So it is going to be quite hard to put acrylic paint right away on the top. That's why we are using products such as gesso, which is in fact primer. This is the primer which is giving you the nice matte finish and a good grip for your paints or your waxes or even for your glue. So when you're working on altered art, one of the most important steps and one of the most important products, it is going to be primer, so gesso. In this case, Christmas project, we are doing a lot of light. We are going to use white gesso, and we start with adding that on the top of the pot, because this is the one that needs the most I would say attention. We're going to change it the most. Let me show you the other side. We've got some pebbles, we've got some strings, and we need to stick the object on the top of it. Okay? Have you got any questions so far? Because we are starting now, and I give you another tip, which is quite important. If you can, check if you can remove some of the parts to make your work easier. I figured you can remove the Christmas tree out of the pot. So I can just put it on the side, and when I will be drying my pot with gesso, by the way, IKEA, this can stay on the side and it's not going to get melted by accident. So that is also important thing. Now, this is the surface we would like to paint or decorate. So I will put a good coat, one coat of gesso on the top of it to make sure it is going to turn into nice and workable surface. So for example, if you are working on a bottle or you're working on the wooden box, that would be your first step as well. So this is like isolation of the background from your paints and waxes and glues that you are going to use on the top. And this isolation is stopping the product from soaking inside of your surface. Of course, nothing will soak into plastic, but into raw wood, of course. And it's matte finish, so it's going to be much easier to stick and to add elements on the top, and it's going to be much easier to paint it. One coat should be enough. Now, of course, we need to dry it first. So I will use my heat gun. And in the meantime, once my gesso is here, I can add a little step on the top of my Christmas tree as well. You can see I dry brushed gesso on the top of the needles to make them look more white, like there's frost on the top. And to do that, you need a flat brush and you need a little bit of the paper to get rid of the excess of the gesso from the brush. For example, I have a wipe here. In the meantime, this one is drying. So dry brushing means you remove the excess, right? You don't have too much. It's just a little bit, very tiny amount. And then just look at that. Very easily and quickly, you can add a coat of like a frost-looking finish. And I go from the bottom to the top because this is the direction where the needles are going. In the meantime, I keep watching my drying because I don't want this plastic thing to melt. The spot is plastic, so it's better to keep an eye on it. So far, we are using gesso only, right? We are using gesso. It's white, so for this step with dry brushing, it can be also replaced with white acrylic paint. If you don't have gesso and you want to do altered art, I think you should, unfortunately, buy a pot of gesso first. It's going to be useful for every kind of project. So please don't be shy and get a jar of gesso, at least one color. So this is really good advice. Is everything okay so far? Yeah, Penny said all the trees look like that now. Apparently it's very cold. But look how natural this is, right? You don't really do a lot of effort. It's not complicated. Flat brush and removing the excess. I know some of you are real pros in mixed media, but many times I get questions about dry brushing. How do you do dry brushing? This is the trick. You always remove the excess of the brush so it's half dry, and then with gentle strokes, you add the coat of paint or gesso on the top. I will let it dry naturally, okay? There's no need for us to spend time on it, especially the needles may get melted very quickly. I put my gesso on the side and we have a look at the pot. You can see it is already matte and dry. We don't really see this gesso. Sometimes you see a little bit of a stroke. Perfect. This is a good sign. That means we can start sticking elements on the top. And if you would like to, you can prepare that in stages. So for example, if you plan to put a big element on your project and you know it's going to be hard to stick in the position because you know it's moving, it is something that is round. It's a very good idea to glue some of the elements together first. And for this step, I don't really recommend using any kind of hot glue because from surfaces like that, from metal, from glass, from plastic, sooner or later, the hot glue is going to chip off. So it's a very temporary solution. Instead, we're going to use heavy body gel. So here, my plan was to create like a snowflake flower. Right? Snowflake flower is multi-layered, so I will show you how it is done. How long does it generally take for gesso to dry without heat gun? Probably 5 to 10 minutes in natural conditions, which will be around 20 degrees and quite dry. If it's humid, it's going to take longer. You can use hair dryer or you can use heat gun to speed up, and you can see it's dry in 2 minutes. Okay, so it's really product that you can dry naturally if you have time, but in reality, 99% of mixed media people, they don't have the time to wait. So they just dry it with the heat guns or hair dryers, and it works really well. So you can see it is ready for the next step. So we can look at the elements we can use for this step. And I have one of my metal flowers. I wanted to be the part of that combination. And it can be layered on the top of other elements. It can be layered on the top of the big snowflake trinket. So I have to glue them together. I have another one like this. But this one, as you can see, too small, right? So not the best solution. And I've got some other little flowers that later I'm going to use on the side of my Christmas tree. So they're like winter flowers. I can have them here on my hand just in case. So let's say these ones are quite good for this purpose. So before I'm going to stick it on the pot, first of all, I will stick it together. And I will let it dry on the side once we are doing something else. So we're going to save energy and time. Well, most of people are really craft impatient. This is true. You can see heavy body gel is very sticky and very, very thick gel medium. And even with this, sticking in this position is asking for trouble because it may slide once we start to work on something else. So in fact, gluing that together is a good plan. So we are saving ourselves a little bit of frustration. It's good to plan your work ahead. So first of all, I will glue these two together. And I will dry it with the heat guns, so they will dry faster. Later, because it is metal, I can also bend it to make it match the shape of the pot a little bit better. You can see I put quite a lot of gel. This is, well, kind of a big blob of gel medium. And now I can use the heat gun to dry it. I have the same tree, but the base is black. Should I paint the white before adding gesso or after? If you have the same tree and the base is black, you mean the pot, I would just paint it white now with the white gesso. Of course, if you like black pot, you can keep the black pot. But anyway, you need to have gesso on it. It may be black gesso or white gesso. So if this is black plastic, put 2 coats of white gesso to cover the black color a little bit better. You can see this gel is drying with the heat gun. Of course, be careful because it's hot. Watch your fingers. And I will let it dry on the side a little bit. And we can work on decorating the pot and prepare for the gluing in the meantime when this is drying. So I wanted to add a little bit of the extra texture. I was thinking what kind of solution I can get here. I was looking for cheap elements, something which is not too fancy. So for example, you can use some thread. I've got some baker's twine. You can use some thread. You can use some buttons or pebbles. Here I use this kind of diamond shape pebbles. And that is adding some nice texture to it. It's going to look also nice from the other side. So this is our plan for the close future. Another element that we can prepare in advance, these are our pine cones, which are covered in glitter. So we can glitter that in advance and keep the glitter away from the table for now. That is also the time we can, how we can use that time in the meantime. So let's have a look at what we have. The flowers will be used in a moment. I have some of the pine cones and the twine. I will try to take a piece of the twine and focus on the pot to add layers. We need scissors for that. Here are the scissors. Yes, the pot. Yeah, I would put, if your pot is black, just paint it with 2 coats of white gesso. 1 coat drying, 2nd coat. It should be white enough for our project to look nice. And then you can continue with what we are doing now. This is the good moment for you to start your hot glue gun. Remember, this part is very hot, so you shouldn't touch it. The glue stick goes inside. It's going to be useful to place our elements inside of the tree, but you can use it to help yourself to wrap your baker's twine around the pot as well, because it's going to keep the end of the twine in the place. So I hope this is going to be warm enough in a moment. And for the leaves, I picked the set that looks the most like the pine tree branches. I'm going to take it out in the meantime. But you know, this is just inspiration. I'm showing you how you can put the things together. But in reality, you can do it any way you like, because technique is important, but the elements are really up to you. First key element, gesso, priming with gesso. Second key element, you know, doing something in stages, so you are not stopping yourself. So we are keep waiting for this to dry. In the meantime, we do our other steps. I will try to put a little bit of the hot glue here. Remember, this is very hot, so don't touch it with your finger, right? And then I will try to wrap it around. This part will be hidden, so nobody will know what is happening in here. So you can work without extra stress. You can use the usual thread, you can use the twine, you can use a piece of wool, whatever feels right. And it's really cheap supply. Most of people have things like that at home. And I try to finish in similar spot as where I started, so I can hide it under my embellishments. And I remove the excess. So now I know I would like to stick my embellishments here, so they're hiding the not so pretty parts of my flower pot. In the meantime, when this is drying, now you can still see it's not moving, but I'm not trusting that yet, right? We can add a bit of the pebbles to make it look nice. We can also place our leaves in the right position using the same hot glue for a moment before we are going to use the hot glue, the heavy body gel to make it permanent. If you have your leaves somewhere on hand, you can now try to measure how it's going to look like under the big embellishment, right? So the embellishment goes here and the leaves are supposed to go on the sides. So let's say one here. A bit of hot glue, carefully and slowly, and temporary attaching, and use the tools to pull it down. Don't use your fingers. Remember, it may be the scissors, the other side of the brush, but never ever use your fingers, okay? Wait a little bit until it's going to set. I will do a little bit more in here. The other side of the brush to keep it in place. Stay there. It's really, really annoying. Wait. Stay there. Thank you. Now the second one. Similar technique. Position on the other side. More or less in that place. So we are temporary attaching these two in here. I'm going to use that to hold it in place. Wait for a moment to dry and cool down. I will try to shape it a little bit more round using my fingers. So it's going to stick nicer on the pot. Oh, too much. Another moment of drying. And we will stick our pebbles on the pot now. Oh, hello, Sil. Hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, because I can look from on the screen from time to time, of course. Okay, drying. This one is staying in place. Okay, let me push it now. Get rid of the funny parts of the hot glue. And now I can see where I've got spaces for my pebbles. So here goes the big embellishment, but everywhere around I can go with pebbles. There are pebbles of different sizes in my pot. I will try to use different sizes next to each other, so everything looks natural, interesting, a little bit like crystals or snowballs, whatever you prefer. Of course, we are trying to avoid that part of our composition. So again, I'm going to heavy body gel and I will stick these. And you can apply just the gel directly and press it inside. And if you see there's too much of the gel, you can pick it up and clean your brush immediately. It's very easy. You can see I'm using my finger. Some people don't like touching gel. I really don't understand why, but If you don't like it, never use the bristle of the brush because it's very easy to glue it together by accident. It's better to use the other side, or even better, if you have a chance, sometimes you can buy tools like this. This is silicone tool, for example, for working in clay or working in texture. It's very good to pick up excess of the gel. So now I'm going to decorate that part of the pot using different sizes of the pebbles to make my project look a little bit more interesting on the pot as well. It's up to you. You can use crystals if you have them. You can use buttons. You can just add more of the thread and pretend the texture on the pot comes from the thread only. There's nothing else. You can see this is sticking quite easily. First of all, because of the gesso, which is the first step. So nice matte finish makes our gluing much, much easier. And second, this is very sticky gel medium. So even dimensional elements are easy to stick in place. So if you're a beginner, I have to tell you, good products, right products to use are helpful. So if you're going to struggle because your glue is not holding the things in place, or it is very, very hard to stick things, you will get frustrated and maybe discouraged. And of course, this might not be your fault. You just have the kind of hard to use product, and it's very hard to be successful when your tools are working against you. So if something goes wrong, don't get angry. Just try to find the reason that you were struggling and to go around that. Find another solution. Maybe this is just not the right product to use. Maybe you should change the tool or maybe technique. It's really sometimes very simple things, such as changing the brush when you are painting. You can see I never use the hot glue for this. Simple reason, plastic and plastic, they will chip off quickly. So it is much better to save yourself this frustration and start right away with something which is going to work for sure. Gel medium is permanent after drying. It's also flexible. So all these pebbles, they're going to stay on your project forever. It's hard to break this, really, really hard. Once it is dry, it's almost impossible to remove. Oh, you can see the popsicle sticks. Yay. Okay. I added a lot of crystals on my pot. I think it is going to look really nice. This is temporary solution here. I know I will have to stick it much better. But now I don't want to put my hand on it because they are still drying. I can again use my heat gun and make sure the pebbles are going to stay in place. You're addicted to pebbles, Noneka? Me too. In the meantime, when we are putting our project together, you can like the video because that makes it more visible on YouTube and it helps me to be more visible for possible mixed media interested people, and it's going to be easier for them to find this video and to learn the basics of alteration. So step 1, primer. Step 2, using the supplies which are easy to get, but also using the right products. If you're using the wrong product, the one which is not suitable for that, you're going to have a lot of frustration. You can do it, but it's going to be much harder. So good advice is to get really the glue or the gel medium, which is supposed to be used for gluing, or if you're doing flat techniques, if you want to stick something flat, you should have liquid product instead of thick. If you're gluing dimensional stuff, you should think about getting thicker stuff, thicker gel. It is all the matter of the needs of your project. For example, gesso is very useful as a primer, but it may be used also as a white paint from time to time. But you can't use gel medium to prime your paper or to prime your plastic or glass, because it's going to be too slippery. So elements, they won't really like to stay on. Especially painting over gel medium is not a good solution. You need more of the pebbles. Okay, I will try to think about it. So see, I'm just heating up with the heat gun or hair dryer, if you use hair dryer, and trying to dry from different angles, so these little ones are staying better on the pot. So if I pick it up by accident next time, it's not going to come off. Now, we will let it dry a little bit more naturally, so I'll put it on the side. I can have a look at my flower that is going to sit here. It starts to look nice, even with the rusty color. Cześć Marta, hello Karen, hello Muzo Scrap, hello, hello. I can see I can bend it a little bit more. So I will try. It's easy with the metal embellishments. That's why I recommend using metal here. But if you have other solutions, why not? I can see. I would love to add something in the middle. So maybe a little pebble or maybe a little screw head. I found a little screw in my mechanicals and it looks really cute. So I'm thinking about doing the same step. So let me find a little screw head. Maybe I will find one. When you made altered pumpkins, I think use gesso and hot glue. And these two go-tos for tactical decor projects. Hot glue is good when you have dimensional stuff you have to hold in place. Gesso is always important. But when I work on the flat projects, when I don't have to temporarily place dimensional elements on my projects that much, I don't really use hot glue at all because it is not reliable. It's going to chip off really quickly. So my go-to product for dimensional and for altered art and for assemblage, it's heavy body gel. Look, I'm trying to stick this very, very small screw head on the top of the flower. Wish me luck. Maybe it is going to be okay. Okay. And now I will dry that with the heat gun and I will put it on the top of the pot in this position. So it's going to dry laying down in the right place. Especially pebbles in the smaller sizes, said Caroline. Okay, I will keep that in mind. The main element is not moving. This one is okay. Now, you can see I tried to shape it right, but reality is it's very wobbly because we have here these threads and we also have these leaves. So the solution here is putting really a big blob of gel medium. This is what I mean by big blob. Okay, and then we place the embellishments and we press it down. You press it so much that you almost squeeze the gel out of it. See? So much. It's much easier solution. And now you can pick up the excess of the gel. Nobody will see it anyway, because it's going to be painted. It's going to be invisible. Yeah, we try to find the best flat position for it. You can move it a little bit so it's really staying in place. And we will dry it and let it sit on the side to dry naturally. It will take probably, with the heat gun, 5 to 10 minutes to dry. But in the meantime, we can do something else. Look, I'm trying to dry from the angles, so it's easier for me to reach the gel which is under the embellishment. Oh, thank you, Terry. Oh, that's a lovely Christmas gift. Thank you so much. Terry, you are an angel. Oh, thank you, thank you. You weren't that much late. I'm very happy you are here. Trying to move the project around a little bit, so it's going to be easier to get into the drying place with the heat gun, you know, so you can try to reach your glue, your gel from the angle. Of course, the gels I'm using, they were designed to be used with the heat gun, so there is no harm to them at all. But if you hear strange noises such as popping or sizzling, that means you're probably overheating the gel and you should give it a moment to cool down. Yeah, gesso and gel medium in my life, it is a necessity. Okay, I'm trying to dry it as much as I can from different angles. I will check with my fingers. It is moving a little bit because it is very hot. I push it down. Sometimes you can even squeeze more of the gel this way. And I will put it on the side to cool down and dry naturally a little bit. I will check in a few minutes. In the meantime, we're going to play with glitter. I have a mat, so that is going to help. Okay, I'm trying to explain everything slowly and everything in steps. And if you have questions, especially if you're a beginner, don't be shy. This video is typically made for those of you who are only starting in mixed media. So I try to explain everything clearly and in a simple way. So far, our main two products, this was heavy gesso, which we used for priming. Right, and we will use it again in a moment to prime our metal elements. I also use the same gesso for adding the frosting effect on the Christmas tree. Okay. What's your favorite guillotine paper trimmer? I don't really use paper trimmer that much. I only have one at home, and it's a heavy-duty paper trimmer. I can show you. Because it is a big daddy. And it's from the Office Depot. Like this. It's not a brand which will be craft brand. This is something which it's a rotary trimmer, capacity of 15 sheets of 80 GSM paper. This is something which I have. I don't use any other. And the reason is I I mostly cut cardboard when it, not really the paper. So the craft brands are not my choice because they're usually for single sheets of the scrapbooking paper. So I was buying something heavy duty. So in the meantime, when we are waiting for our pot to dry, we can prepare elements to glue into our Christmas tree. You can see I was trying to use little pine cones and pods of different kinds. So this is the good moment to get your findings that are natural out. Pine cones are very cute. I've got also little thingies which are from some previous year decoration. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Cindy. This is so generous of you. Thank you. My little deer is very happy. Thank you, thank you. Like the deers jumping together. Thank you. It's a lovely gift. Thanks. So oh, you just made me. I lost my plot for a moment. Okay. I found this. This is previous year decoration. I was thinking these little ones, they are perfect like snowballs. I'm going to put them inside of my tree as well. I also have a star because it's Christmas tree. So if you celebrate Christmas, you may thinking about putting a star on the top of your tree. I made this with resin and one of my molds. If you don't celebrate Christmas, you can put a metal snowflake on the top, for example. That is another idea, or like another snowflake, right? So this is an option, up to you. It may be general winter tree, on it may be Christmas tree if you celebrate Christmas. So there are snowflake ideas as well, or you can put another pine cone as well. So for glitter, I'm going to use these. Now, a little Bambi, so little deer. You can see this one is straight from the packaging. I did nothing to it, but I wanted that to look more grungy and darker. So what happened? I painted that with black gesso to give it this natural shadow. And then I brushed a bit of the brown metallic paint or wax on the top. And this is what I'm going to show you, how you can change toys into a little bit more like sculpture looking objects, if you like to. There's a video I was doing for you last year. It was called Reindeer and Friends, I think, and I was altering larger reindeer. And you can have the whole step-by-step of altering plastic reindeer video that is available in my channel as well, so check it out. Today we only want to put this little reindeer in the pot for an extra touch, so it's not going to be big alteration. Let's start with this. For now, if you ever painted some figurines like little toy soldiers, or if you are a gamer and you play with battle games with the figurines, it's a good idea to start with the black primer, because that is adding the natural shadow to your objects. It's like you don't have to paint the shadow anymore. You just don't cover it completely. So don't be afraid that I cover the poor thing with the black color now. Black gesso is going to be useful here. If you don't have black gesso, black acrylic paint with the matte finish, for this size of a project like this, it's going to be okay. But in reality, gesso is going to be better solution because it's cheaper than acrylic paint and it dries faster and it has just the right formula to work as a primer. You can see it goes really fast. So the pot is drying and our little fellow here is getting painted. Okay, let me paint your legs.
and hooves. I hope they're called hooves, like horses, but I'm not sure. Let me paint your bottom and your tail and bum. And I will paint the last leg in a moment. It's like, I have to hold it in the right position. I will dry it. And you will see black gesso dries matte very quickly. Yes, the reindeer stream is for those of you who love the idea of changing maybe a little bit tacky figurines you can get cheap around Christmas time into something more sophisticated. Okay, hooves is correct. I was worried because I know the deers, they have like a double hoof and the horse have single. And in my language, in Polish, there are two different names for these. So I started to think, okay, the hoof may be only for the horse. And luckily I'm okay. So now quickly, just the legs. Okay, oh, one more. Check from all the possible angles. Sometimes you will miss a spot. So you can see very quick transformation into little black deer. And of course we will let it dry naturally as well. So it's going to cool down. I will come back to it in a moment. So step one for the elements. You can see, oh, it got very soft, so now the legs are moving. Yeah, so we have this one waiting for the makeover into more like bronze figurine look. Now, we are going to work with the glitter. And you know, glitter means trouble. So this is the moment when we need to put all the sticky stuff away and possibly work on the mat. I have to rewatch the reindeer's team, said Carol. I rewatched it and made 12 table gifts for a crop I went to a couple of weeks ago. It was a lot of reindeer. Okay, I can imagine 12 is a lot. Hoof, and the double one is called a cleft hoof, if I recall correctly. Oh, see, Penny, there is a special name. I was suspecting there has to be a little bit of a hack in it. But let's say hoof is okay. We accept the hoof is fine. I will use glitter and I will use sticky gel medium to put it on and let it dry. So, first of all, I will close the heavy body gel because I don't want to have glitter in it for now. I take away all the other things which are nearby. And I take soft gloss gel, which is liquid gel medium, very sticky. You can see I was using that a lot. It's half empty. And this one is going to be useful for adding the glitter, but in reality, I use it a lot for gluing paper and gluing small embellishments because it's really creamy. It's like honey and it's easy to spread with a brush. You can see comparing to heavy body gel, which is almost solid, this is quite fluid medium and very easy to spread. Also, it has extra sticky ingredient in it. So comparing to other brands, this one is very, very sticky. So now I will be adding the gel to my pine cones of different sizes. It doesn't have to be perfectly painted. I'll take another brush because this one is too stiff. Okay, this one. So this part, I think you can imagine that you are doing with any other good quality transparent glue. If you don't have this kind of gel medium, anything transparent and sticky is going to work. So tacky glue, any kind of bookbinding glue, tons of acorns sounds right, Carol. Are you adding the snowballs? Yes, I want to add the snowballs together with the Christmas trees, yeah. Together with the pine cones. So once these are ready, I can glue them inside of in between the branches of the Christmas tree. So this is easy part. Of course, if you have a lot of elements, you can do it in steps. I'm not going to use all of these because this is too much. So I know I only need a few. But again, it's a good idea to plan your work in stages. So now when something is drying and you would have to wait and be a little bit frustrated, you can work on something else. For example, this part. Or you can have a break and go and have a cup of tea. Ah, this one is done. Maybe one more. And that should be enough. And if you would like to add a star, maybe I will take a small star. You can also cover that with soft gel. Of course, be generous. So everything is covered. Now we put it away and we start the glitter. I'm thinking the snowballs have enough of the glitter because they already have the glitter on. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's fluffy with some kind of like frosty glitter on it. So I think I'll keep it like as it is because they're going to be a little bit different. So I think it's good. Some tea. Now, I really like this one. And this was the reason I used the ice cream color, because if you can see it, it is reflecting the light with iridescent purple blue. So I will try to get that look. When you alter the pumpkin, use gesso and hot glue. Was it really heavy or was it heavy body gel? I used both. I did exactly the same thing. I added a little bit of the hot glue to temporarily attach things, and then I used a lot of heavy body gel to make sure everything stays in place permanently. I never really use hot glue for anything but attaching a flower to a wreath or anything else like that. So I'm sure it was, look at this, it's like snow. So I'm doing the snow pine cones now. So I'm sure there was both hot glue and there was heavy body gel. I do it over the other ones, so I'm saving kind of the glitter. So cute. It looks like really iridescent snowflake. It doesn't have to be perfectly everywhere because some parts were just going to stick. So keep that in mind. Okay, I still have something left to sprinkle on the top of my tree if I want to. And now the star, I can mix some silver and gold. So I have some silver glitter and some vintage gold glitter, and I will do that on the star. Just in case. Come on, move, move, move. That should be okay. Now, drying, but we have the glitter everywhere. So I put it on the piece of paper and let it dry on the piece of paper. One by one, away from my mat. Of course, glitter will come off for some time, but we'll talk about it as well. Perfection. Oh, don't go anywhere. Stay. Perfection is not needed. We just need these little ones to go off our table. And now the challenge of picking this one. Ha! Drying. And removing the glitter. Picking the glitter up so we can work on other things now. I use the baby wipe, but I'm not really thinking that I'm able to remove all the glitter. No worries. I know it's not possible. Hello, Olga. Good to see you. Yes, gilding glue is very good for glitter because it's so tacky. It's just perfect. So you can use that. But also there are some useful hacks. It's good to know. And I will show you them to you. So if you are not a huge fan of waiting, a bit of heat gun drying is also possible to do. Of course, try to keep the glitter in one place. If you have this kind of heat gun, it's a little bit less blowing, so it may be easier. Right, so it's up to you. But we have some time. We don't have to do it now. I put it on the side. And we have glitter everywhere, of course. We can focus on our reindeer again. And this time we want the reindeer to look, as I said, a little bit like a bronze figurine. Something that is going to be more natural looking in our composition. So you can use a metallic paint or you can use the wax. I use the wax and I use the color which is called Bronze Age. And I'm going to do the same for you so you can have a look at the technique. First of all, you need a little bit of the wax. This is the product which is finishing product. It's oil-based, wax-based really. So it's not great to paint on the top of it. So it is better to stick to wax only for certain techniques or the finishing techniques. I'm looking for our victim now. Where are you? Oh, here. Here's the little deer. Right? And then the same way as we did with our dry brushing gesso, now we are going to dry brush the wax. See how quickly it goes? Don't go too deep. We don't want to go under the belly, for example, because this is not the place where naturally the color would be visible. It's the place for the shadow. Don't go inside of the ears. It's okay. In this way, the natural textures of the figurine are going to be revealed, and you will see all the textures of the hair. And I don't go in the deeper parts. For example, here I could go with wax, but no, this is the moment when the black gesso is helping us to get the shadows. The same here, look at the neck. You could go deeper, but in fact, it is helping us. This is not covered completely because the shape of the head is naturally looking, and inside of the ears, where the natural shadows are, I'm not going in there because it is naturally looking. So you can see this is the way you can use your wax and your black gesso to get the look more natural. Okay? I put the deer to dry. Will soft gel work as well as gilding glue or for glitter? Yes. I really don't want to have glittery workshop office after December. Well, good vacuum cleaner also helps. But I do a lot of glitter in December, and it's not as bad as people say. You are able to control it, especially if you work on the mat or on the paper towel and then take it off. And honestly, soft gel is very strong, so don't worry about that part. Now, I want to show you one more idea that is visible here. I used Christmas tree light bulbs, and they are painted and glued in. We can also add them to this project later. But now we are coming back to our pot, and we're going to paint it with gesso because we are getting ready for the final painting. So far we have a Christmas tree dry brushed. We've got our flower pot mostly dry. I'm checking. Oh, this is dry as well. Not moving. Elements are fine. So it's important to check with your fingers before you're going to do anything. Remember, it's better to dry longer than to struggle, okay? These are not moving. We've got our deer almost ready. And we've got our elements with glitter drying. I put them on the side now. Now we are going to prime our metal embellishments, and we are going to add the color to the thread, and we're going to add the color to the crystals so they look like they're one element. We can also prime elements we want to glue inside of the pot. For example, here is the metal flower, another metal flower. So if you have something on your mind, this is the right time. Let's say I'm going to take metal flower, maybe 3 of the oh, you can see this is what I want to do with my Christmas tree light bulb, right? So some of these. Okay, we are going back to the product we started with, so gesso. So far there were 3 art mediums: heavy body gel, white gesso, and soft gel. Okay. This goes on the side, this one goes on the side. Now we are going to play with gesso. And they are quite small. I will take a smaller brush for now for this gesso because it's going to be hard to use the big flat brush for painting. Elements are basically coming together now, and working in stages is really helpful. So let's start with the small bits and pieces. I will see how many layers I need to have to remove the original color. This one is green, and I want it white with blue, so I may need 2 coats. And important tip here is it's better to put 1 coat drying, second coat, dry it, then to go very thick with the gesso because it's going to dry longer and you're going to lose a lot of detail. So good advice, stages instead of putting a lot at one time. See, I'm not even bothered it is not covering. I will just do it in the second step. Little light bulbs. Thank you, Karen. Oh, thank you, thank you. You are so kind. Guys, this is the best thing ever. Oh, I feel special now. The light bulbs would be great as set of mechanicals. I'm trying to make a set of light bulbs for you. It is not so easy to find a factory that will make nice resin light bulbs, but I keep hoping. I submitted a project 1 year ago, and so far I don't see it coming. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are so generous. But if you're really new to these mediums, make sure you check the other videos I made because there are videos typically for beginners as well. It's called First Steps in Mixed Media. And I explain a lot of basics in these. I try to show everything step by step, just like I'm showing here with alteration. So now look, I take my gesso and I paint all the things on the top of the pot, trying to make sure everything is primed and matte, so easy to paint for the acrylic paints in the next step. And I also do that to the metal embellishments in the moment. You can see the thread is going to absorb a lot of gesso because it is cotton, mostly cotton, so it's absorbing. You can paint the leaves on both sides, of course. Video on beginner mixed media is excellent. Yes, it is very helpful because I know there's a large group of people who would love to try, but they are afraid. By the way, if you only started watching now and you really are interested in mixed media and you would like to try a real big collage project, there is a great chance. There is a great chance now because I've just released an online class which is suitable for beginners, but also it's great for people who are advanced, and it's called Forest Witch, and it's a full-time video class, and the sales start today, and it is €32 in early bird price, which means you're able to get it for Christmas if you want to get a gift for yourself or for your crafty friend. There are also gift cards available. And that all is going to be on early bird for 1 week and then goes to price of €37. And this is instant access and it's lifetime access as well. And I explain everything in a very detailed way, including all the products that we use. So if you feel you're a beginner, you can watch the video, which is like the first one about the products, and you're going to get a lot of knowledge and everything is explained step by step. So if you'd like to do that, today is the early bird price starting now, and the class is called Forest Witch, and it comes in 4 languages. It's in English, also with subtitles, in Spanish, subtitles, French, subtitles, and in Polish, spoken. Po polsku mówię. Nie było napisów, bo to już naprawdę dacie radę, kiedy mówię. So that is a great option for those of you who would like to take a real class at home and you're not thinking about subscriptions such as Patreon, for example. I will post the link for you here. So that is the website, and this class is getting there. Oh, and my fingers are covered in gel. And that means I'm in trouble when it comes to posting anything, but I have a tiny pinky still clean, so I'm posting with my pinky. This is the website, and you can check the classes there. And this is a completely new website. We only started that in November, so I'm really excited about that. Look, this is first coat, and gesso gets transparent, a little bit transparent when you are drying it. Don't worry, you can always put another coat if you want it whiter. We are waiting patiently for the new product release. I'm not so patient as you are. It was supposed to be now, but everything got delayed in the port. So I'm waiting for the updates, and I'm hoping January is the month. The class in American dollars in early bird price, somebody converted to me, it is $36.50. And that is including the taxes, of course, because in Europe all the taxes are included. So if I say 32 euro, it is including taxes. So in the United States, it will be 36.50 including taxes. If you're not sure, you can check in the online currency converter, but somebody today converted that already, and that was it. So I guess it's going to be very close to $36, $37. I'm drying it again. You can see everything turns matte, right? And I can put another coat on this green one, and also, of course, on my light bulbs. Oh, Cynthia said in Canadian dollars, it's approximately 45 Canadian dollars. So that is the current version of the price. And of course, lifetime access means once you purchase the class, every time when you log into this website, you have access to all the videos that you purchased. So that is the one that is going to be waiting there for you as long as the website is active. And I hope that means forever. Also, if you're Canadian and if you feel more confident with French language, there is a version English with French subtitles. It is French from France, and I don't know how close it is to French Canadian, but it may be a good option for you. I know for some people it will be easier to watch in French. So if you are from Canada, and you have some friends who would love to learn about very rich and dimensional collage, and you know they're French speaking, it's easier for them to learn in that language, you can point them to that class. This is our experiment to see if it is a good idea to make translations to other languages, if it's going to sell in those languages enough to cover the costs of translation, for example. So if you feel that you would prefer Spanish or Polish or French, we have it. I really wanted my classes to be available in other languages as well. See, I'm putting the second coat so I can get more white surface if I want to. And I dry it again. Now we're going to add the color to it. But first, of course, we dry. It's a very important step in every kind of mixed media, but also in alteration. Yes, Cynthia is updating the prices. Or you can check 50, it's 50 Canadian dollars with the conversion from euro. It's interesting how the conversion works. It should be the same. So you can see this is mostly white now. It's not perfectly white, but we're going to put paint on the top of it. So don't worry. But important thing is, before you're going to paint with anything, wax or acrylic paint, make sure everything is dry. In mixed media, dry means permanent. And permanent means you are going to work easy. It's going to be easy for you to work because nothing is going to blend by accident. Nothing is going to get into the color of mud, for example. All the acrylic paints are permanent after drying, and all of the gessos are permanent after drying. So if you would like to have your colors saved and just add extra touches on the top, this is the way to go. You dry first and then you go to the next step. It's very important. Kel, $45 it was in Canadian dollars. For American dollars, it's 37, not 40, 37 American dollars. Yes, exactly. Moni says true. If you take the class, you learn the techniques making a project, but you use these techniques in the future on whatever you like, because there's so much of the information and there are so many ways of using the product that you can work on anything you like. Taking the class is learning the project, but also learning about the products and the look. Oh, Cynthia is going to do live conversion. Thank you. Okay, everything is basically dry. I'm checking here. I didn't paint over the sticker. I will try to remove it later. Now, let's have a look at the color palette I wanted to get. Look, I wanted to get this icy, let's say, icy blue. So it looks like frozen color, like, you know, the frost. So that comes mostly from the Ice Queen color, which was layered quite thin. So that is going to be just a little bit and quite a lot of water. Oh, okay. I can see the currency issues are going. €1, 113 US and €1, 145 Canadian. Oh, you only learned about mixed media. That is great because you are in the right live stream, because this one is for beginners. And I try to show all the important things in a slow motion, no, not slow motion, slow steps, and always showing everything. Hello, Sue, thank you so much. So guys, if you'd like to put a thin layer, instead of putting a paint and adding some water, you can spray if you have permanent sprays. But if you have acrylic paints and you have a water sprayer, it's very easy to add thin, interesting layer of the paint and water it down. So I will make sure I will have the water in the sprayer, and I will get some kind of a paper towel, so we are not going to be, let's say, covered in water and paint. So it's going to absorb. It's going to absorb a little bit. In some countries you call them paper towels, in other countries you call them napkins, in other countries you call them kitchen rolls. Yes, link for Patreon is in the description of the video, as well as the link to the Finnabair Art Studio website. So you can check in the description of the video. Sarah said €32.70. The little tree is gorgeous. Yeah, and it was such a cheap buy from IKEA, so it's really good sometimes to look at them and think, what can I do with them? So I'm really huge fan of altering objects and changing them into something else. So now we are getting into the color. This color is done in 2 steps minimum, and the brown is the second step. First we do this icy metallic, right? I open the pearl. Kel, that's very natural that you are afraid of using them. because it looks scary when it is finished. But in reality, if you see everything done step by step, and if you follow step by step, if you watch tutorial videos, it's getting easier to understand how they work. Really, the tip of drying things in between, or the tip to keep everything, done in stages, it's very helpful. Oh, thank you, Missy. Look, I'm going to take a very small brush and I'm just going to dab the paint to add a little bit of this icy color to the flower and leaves, okay? And you may think, oh, that's ugly. Yeah, it's not too pretty, but because I can use the sprayer, we can make these colors float and it starts to look kind of fun and more transparent. Now you can see why I used the paper towel, okay? We can also go a little bit on the flower pot around our crystals. If you're afraid doing that way, you can water down your paint on a palette and go from the palette. But I think this is very intuitive way. The thing I'm showing you now, it's very intuitive, okay? Let's say we like what we have so far. We dry it. Remember, it's an important step. If we want to make it permanent, we dry it. In the meantime, when it is drying, I can paint these flowers as well. It's multitasking. Perfection is not needed, really. It's all going to be grungy and a little bit crazy anyway. So you can see it turns silvery metallic and it gets this lovely color of something between blue and lavender and silver. Thank you, Anna. The IKEA tree started to look very fancy, I think. So you can see from here to here, there is a bit of the brown color added as well. Be careful, of course, when you dry, don't get burned by accident. Thank you, Kel. I'm very happy that I explained the things the way you like. This is my job. I am a teacher and I want people to feel encouraged and to feel that they are able to do it. Okay, this side is, let's say, done enough. Now I can go on the other side. You can see I can do a little bit more of this highlighting with the blue. Yeah, so it's a bit of the frosty color. And the water is making that more like watercolor effect, or similar to the one that you would get with the spray paints. You know, when you're using Glimmer Mist or Lindy Stamp Gang sprays, they are not so easy to control. So they give you this kind of random look. So here, taking the paint straight from the jar, we get similar effect, but it's all because spraying the water. Yep. If by accident something goes wrong, you can still pick it up with the baby wipe when it's wet, right? Oh, too much. Let's cover that. Oh, perfect. Now, drying again. Yeah, the blue color is perfect for the winter projects. It's very icy. That's why it's called Ice Queen. Because I was thinking, it's hard to describe what kind of blue is it. It is something between blue, purple, and silver. So I was trying to find the right name. So finally, Ice Queen was the winner. Because it looks cold. It's very cold blue. I just got my Art Alchemy fluid medium and spent some relaxing time adding it to my metallic acrylics. Very good habit. You are reviving them and adding extra life. Jody said, I'm so good at explaining for beginners that she's not a beginner anymore. Oh, my job is done. I will let it dry a little bit. I can put it in the other position, and I can now paint my little light bulbs as well, so they have this icy color. Once I have the paints on the table, I can do that easily. The mat I'm using, the brown one, this is heat resistant, so if I heat something on my table, the mat, the cutting mat or the table is not getting damaged. I'm drying the flowers and the light bulbs. Don't run away. They're trying to escape. Remember, acrylic paint is possible to bubble when you overheat it, so try not to burn it too much. Just move your heat gun from one place to another. Thank you, I'm happy you like the color. Now, let's take a break in drying. Let's have a look at the color here. Looks very cool. Nice color. If you look at this here, this is the clean version and this is the vintage version. If you would like to make some lighter highlights, if you have the white paint, this is white pearl, you can now make some parts of that a little bit lighter. Some people like that. I think this is kind of okay. But if I had to, I could add some lighter tones using pearl. Pearl is such a neutral color that you can always use it on every step of your work, no matter what color is, because it's just general white light on your mixed media project. So I could do that. But another thing I can do is to add a little bit of the white to my little one, the little deer. I take the smallest brush I can find. Size 0. This is size 0 brush. Oh, focus. 0. Right? And I would like to paint the nose and the inside of the ears so it looks more natural. You can see I take that. You can see the nose of the deer is white. So I can use this white on the top of the nose of my deer as well. So it looks a little bit like in nature. If you feel this is too much, you can touch with your finger, make it look less saturated. And of course, you can go a little bit inside of the ears as well. Right? Another trick, if you really want to be the master of painting here, you can make sure the eyes are black. So with the same tiny brush, you can take black acrylic paint if you have it, or a tiny bit of black gesso, and paint the eyes black. You can also try with the nostrils. But not when your hands are shaky, just, saying. Okay. I can breathe now. It's like a little add-on, to make it look a little bit like a real animal. So we can do that. You can also add white spots if you feel like that. So that is ready. Now, I keep checking these ones and they seem to be ready as well. Perfect. I will cut these parts of the plastic off. We don't need that because it's going to be hard to glue our light bulbs into the Christmas tree. We have these. And now we are going to make this look a little bit more vintage, okay? I keep this paint on the side, maybe I will do some splatters. I keep the white on the side just in case if we want to add a little bit more. I put the gesso on the side. If you would like to get the vintage look out of our white blue, what you need is brown color, like naturally brown color. Okay, Forest Witch Collage, Kel says it's $37.77 United States dollars today, including taxes. Okay. Liz is such a kind person. Oh, she said she made a paper mache reindeer and with made mystical with wings. That is so cool. I would love to see that. I love adding wings to animals. So I'm hoping that is something that you can try as well. Okay, so from clean, we can go to vintage. Remember, you don't have to do it, but it's good to know, right? How to make this look vintage. It's just another level of technique. So you can stop here and just add white and maybe some white splatters to make it look like snow, maybe some snowflake paste. It's going to be fine. But we are going vintage and we are going to add a brown transparent paint. You can use metallic brown, of course, watering it down, but it's very good to know your options. And this paint, because it's liquid and transparent, is very easy to use. So burnt sienna is like ultimate brown color. We're not going to use a lot. We're going to add like rusty touches. I have my brush dipped in water and I'm just going in the deeper parts on the petals, adding the paint. Of course, I can do more or I can do less. It's really up to you. And if you feel this is something that you would like to get more watercolor look, it's very easy to do the same trick and add water to make it look perfectly watercolor. And this combination of color is beautiful. So we dry it. We dry it, and of course there may be parts when we want to add more, so we can repeat the step. Or we want to remove part because it's sitting on the very edge of the petal or on the very edge of the branch, the very end of the branch. Sorry, I've lost the word for a moment. So maybe a little bit more, closer to the middle. You can see it's very easy. It starts to be blue vintage. We can do the same thing, just a little bit on the back, here and there, to make it look a little bit older. The whole pot is going to be a little bit older now. In the meantime, I can do it with the extra flowers as well. The reason I'm picking these colors, it's the glitter and the pine cones, because they have very similar color palette to my flowers and the pot now. So everything is going to match beautifully. What we can do now, we can add the crystal middles for our flowers as well. I'm looking for the very small pebbles. Maybe a little bit larger than that. Oh, that is perfect size. 1 and 2. So they're going to be just amazing. I was in an art slump when I found you and I opened eyes to so many possibilities. Oh, thank you, Terry. That's such a lovely thing to hear. Oh, you are the best audience to work for. I'm so grateful for my patrons that are keep supporting me as a teacher, and I keep working with them, and I'm also able to create for everybody and make these videos to keep you inspired and to let you learn things about mixed media. And this is the best way to be. Look at that. So nice. Now, you can see after painting with brown, oh, that looks a little bit too much. No problem. After drying, that part, it's permanent already. So if you want to go back to your blue or even add a little bit of the white highlight, there is no problem. In fact, painting a couple of times is a natural thing when you're trying to make the shadows and the highlights right. So don't expect everything happens in one step. Now, look, I can add a little bit of that blue on the top again if I want to. There's no problem with that. I can add a little bit of white. It's going to be beautiful, grungy bluish. So everything is possible to reverse if you prefer. You don't have to think like, oh, no, it's ruined. It's never ruined. You can always cover that with something else. Remember, the important thing is dry it. It's a beautiful color. We are now ready to put it all together. I hope you're ready for that. If you want to do extra touch, you can also add some splatters. I really like splatters, but for those of you who don't really know how to make splatters, you have to water down your paint. For example, here I'm watering down the brown color to make some brown splatters. Oh, see? Not too thick, not too thin. And then you can hit your brush with another brush or scissors, something hard. So you are able to get those lovely white dots. It is possible you will have them all over your face as well, but this is the price for art that we are paying. You can see this is wet acrylic paint splatter. Very tiny. If it doesn't want to splatter, it's probably too dry or too thick. And you have to water down the paint a little bit more. Oh, hello, Roxanne. You are such a kind person. Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy because I can see a lot of my patrons, they don't regret the time we spent together. Now, we can try to put things together, glue the things in places, and add the final touch of glitter. Let me close the paints and gesso. So there will be no glitter in my gesso. White gesso goes back. Gather all the elements we would like to put into our Christmas tree. I close the heavy body gel for the same reason. We are not going to use heavy body gel for this step because we are just assembling things that are going to be attached to the Christmas tree. So here, hot glue gun is a good option. So don't worry about that part. I can attach these with the heavy body gel, but not the light bulbs or not the little snowballs, because it's really okay. The hot glue for paper flowers or fabric flowers is okay. It's really holding that because it's not heavy and it's not chipping off. So hot glue gun, the deer, and the Christmas tree. Now I put the tree back in place. Ta-da! Here it is. Thank you very much. Now, trying to find the position so the little one is going to fit. I prefer him to be in the front, so it may be a good idea to move the tree a little bit back, or maybe sometimes even remove one of the branches. For example, I can remove this. I will show you. So we make the space for the little deer. Oh, much better. Also, this is the moment when we can stick the star. This is the moment when you have to watch your fingers, okay? The star and the other elements are here. I put them on my mat. Trying to remove the excess. The glitter star. This is the first element I'm going to use. On the top of the tree, I put a blob of gel. Blob of hot glue, sorry. And I put the star in there. It's not too pretty on the other side, but we can cover that with glitter in a moment. This is okay to do it this way. You don't have to use heavy body gel. If you know how people make floral compositions from artificial flowers, hot glue is the go-to technique, so you don't have to be afraid. Now, we are putting the deer in, and that is going to take a bit of the hot glue. So I'm going to put it in the right place, position the legs the best possible way, and now go with the glue around the legs. You can cover that with gesso later, pretending this is snow. But don't be shy. will try to show you. See? A lot of hot glue. You can also cover that with the gel medium if you are afraid. But now we will just try to cool it down and make the deer stay in position. You can blow to cool it down. Make sure that you are keeping this poor animal in the right position. Okay, I can see this one went down. I have to pull it up a little bit. A new thing happened. Just a moment. Okay, now we can start filling the empty spaces with things such as flowers. Of course, we need to shape them a little bit. Pine cones and other elements. Remember about your fingers. If you are not sure, use the tools. Tools are going to place the things in the right position. See? The flower. For good measure, we put one on the other side as well. I have another flower here. Again, shape it. Now we are just really gluing it wherever we feel it is the right place. But carefully. Stay there. Okay. Now, in between the legs of the deer, you can also put a pine cone so nobody will see. There's a lot of glue. And we have space here to put some kind of nut. So now this part is really like making floral composition in the flower shop. And from the bottom, we move all the way up. So now we are playing with different thingies. For example, a snowball. It's going to go here as well. Very fluffy. I start with the pine cones, making sure they're really visible. Like this. And now we play for 2 or 3 minutes. I could put a little bit of the glue around the tree to secure the position. That's a very good idea, but I didn't. I didn't think about it, and now I had to struggle. That's a very good idea. Another one. Try to put them in evenly. So if you have a chance, try to plan your movements that way that from each side there will be some kind of nice pine cone visible or a nut. And it's all starting to look very magical. Now, remember, if you need to refill, you can always stick this glue stick to another. That's also a trick I learned from my dad. So you can glue them together. And another thing, just maybe adding now a bit of these light bulbs. You can see one of the light bulbs already in. And another one on the opposite side in here. So it's a little bit more mechanical, or pretending it's really a Christmas tree with lights. It doesn't matter, it is out of the scale. This is the moment when I get stressed because I don't want to burn my fingers. So, help. I try to be very careful when I do it. And of course, use the right amount of the glue to keep the things in place. This is not going to be a project when people are going to touch a lot. It is more for standing decoration. So in a way, you are excused for using solutions such as hot glue, and this kind of plastic and the pine cones. These solutions are going to work just like they do in the flower shop. So for that part of the project, I'm not going to show you something very enlightening, really, because as you can see, we are just playing with the hot glue and adding elements in, but we are almost done. I can use the branches that I took out from the Christmas tree. And one more of the light bulbs. In here, I need to add the snowballs as well. I have too many elements here ready and waiting. Come on, little snowball. Snowballs, snowballs. Oh. Oh, Kale, thank you very much. Oh, wow. You are so generous today. I feel so special. Thank you so much for the donation. And thank you for saying all the kind words on my classes. I really want you to feel encouraged, and I really want you to try, and I really want you to feel that you've got support. And that's why I prefer live streams to recorded videos, because you can ask questions live. And I know it may be boring to rewatch it later, but once you are here, I'm able to talk to you and answer the questions and give you suggestions and options. Look at the snowballs, they're so cute. I think I need one more here. You can make a snowball out of regular ball and glitter. Here, 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 here. Now, last step. Checking for any spaces that need extra touch. So we are looking around. Oh, you're special, thank you. Oh, that melts my heart. Okay, so we can see our deer, we can see the snowballs. Really quite a lot of fun stuff. Oh, here's empty space, perfect for a snowball. Last snowball. Up. Of course, I burnt my finger already. This is always happening when I use the hot glue gun. That's why I don't like using it. Okay, and now, if there's anything, looks good. So now the last step, I put all the things on the side and I add the last touch of glitter. So that means I take a bigger brush. On my big brush, I put quite a lot of the soft gel and I brush it on my Christmas tree. Just like I was dry brushing my tree with gesso, I'm going to sprinkle a bit of that snow-like glitter on the top of the tree. Right, so this is like another touch we can use. And if there are any things you don't like, for example, the color isn't right, and the glitter will cover that as well. So, you know, Christmas is the time when the glitter is allowed and people can go much further with glitter than usual. And now, paper towel and glitter. Come on here. This is this one with the purple color. Last touches of glitter. So it's not going to be overwhelming. Goodbye, glitter packaging. Now we tap it off. And now the secret weapon. In a moment, I let it dry, but just a little bit, don't melt the needles. Don't melt the needles. Don't melt the snowballs. My secret weapon is something that people probably quite often have at home. Cheap hairspray. Hairspray is helping with glitter tons, really. So if you have a problem with glitter, you can unblock. I was making the wreath yesterday. Come on. Oh, thank you. Hairspray or fixative, but hairspray is cheaper. And buy the cheapest possible sticky, ultra holding hairspray and use it on everything. Okay, everything that has glitter, and it's going to be okay because it's non-yellowing. It's something that people put on their hair actually, so it's okay. So you can easily use it for your glitter fixing. It's helping a lot. And this kind of hack I am using for a long time, and it's helpful. And it's better than anything I found so far, and it's cheap, and we mostly have it at home anyway. So now let's compare our two Christmas trees. Oh, one seems to be a little bit taller. It's the matter of proportion as well. This one is more on the sides, while this one is more together. And the deer and the other deer, they're facing other sides. So the lights are really cool. I really like the snowballs. Look at this. It's so, so cool. And of course, we let the hairspray dry naturally. Have you got any questions? I will just show you all the art mediums we used again, so it will be easier for you to remember. We used soft gel, mostly for gluing the glitter, and that was important. We used the heavy body gel, so the gel that was holding the big elements in place, for example, the flower. And we used gesso. Gesso was the most important primer we used. So these three. Then from the paints, we mostly used the Ice Queen blue, and we used the burnt sienna for the brown touches, right? You can include a little bit of white pearl acrylic for extra highlights. And if you want to play with the deer, you can use the combination of Bronze Age and heavy black gesso. So these are the things that you also can watch on the live stream from last year. So I can take you to that when you would like to see more of the alteration ideas. So figurines is more deeper and it's better explained in the previous video, but that was for the deer. And from the sparkly side, we've got glitters, and that was it. There are not too many products. A lot of them you can easily replace with something else. So of course the colors of the glitter, colors of the paint, but we need good quality adhesive for the dimensional elements, and we need adhesive for the glitter and gesso. Hot glue is helpful for the last stage of the work when we are placing the elements inside of the Christmas tree, and if you want to temporarily attach something like a thread or maybe a leaf for a moment. Now, when the project is ready like this, you should just let it dry naturally and wait before you're going to wrap it and gift it to somebody, of course, because some parts may be still wet, so it's much safer to wait. I hope that was informative for you, and I hope this mini project is going to really make you feel more confident about altering techniques which are more like for home decor use, and you're going to try some of the products a bit more. I'm going to say goodbye in a moment. Whoops, sorry for this. It's quite hot. As you can see, it wasn't too long. If you plan your work in stages, you can turn your Christmas tree from quite simple to very elaborate. And I hope that is going to give you ideas that you can turn almost every not impressive, cheap looking item into something much more interesting if you're using the right techniques. And as you can see, you don't have to have tons of stuff. You can focus on basics such as gesso, some kind of transparent glue, hopefully thick gel medium, which is going to help you stick things, some acrylic paint, some glitters, maybe some mica powders or small elements to glue down. So that is going to last for a couple of years, as long as nobody is going to try to take elements off. Especially cats or children are good at that. And if you're going to put it in a, some kind of cupboard or wrap it in the bubble wrap, you can use it couple of years, 1 year after another, because it's pretty sturdy. Like this kind of combination of elements, you are not afraid to touch it. So I hope that was fun to watch. I want to say thank you for all the kind donations. You really made my heart sing. And thank you to those of you who sign up for the class already. This is the day number 1 of sales of the early bird class. And we had, I'm not sure how many, but I would say over 30 people joining already and enjoying the videos. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. You like the snowballs, Jody said. Thank you so much for that. If you want to become my Patreon and you would like to get classes about mixed media basics, about composition, about ideas, and also the projects, the link is in the description of the video. And if you'd like to buy yourself a class, for example, collage class or inspirational class, our new website, Finnabair, our studio, is waiting for you, and the collage class is on the early bird price for a week until 12th of December. So this is the perfect time to buy the class for a gift for Christmas. And you can get it in English, French, Spanish, and Polish. So that is something new. We never did it before. I hope this is going to be a good solution. I'm not sure if I should show you the project, which is the class. If you want to see it in front of the camera, let me know. Gosiu, na pewno Ci się uda zrobić. Uważaj tylko właśnie przy klejeniu i sobie dobrze zaplanuj pracę. I'm just saying things to my friends here in Polish. Ja trzymam kciuki. To nie jest trudne. Trzeba troszeczkę sobie tylko właśnie zaplanować, żeby nie tkwić w miejscu. Thank you, Katerina. Thank you, Anita. And my Christmas tree, I hope, is going to be showing in your houses in many variations, many color inspirations, many
versions of decoration, because everything is possible to change. The techniques are important. How to stick the glitter, how to make the texture on the flower pot, how to prime the pot, how to paint it. But the colors, the idea of elements you're going to use, it is all up to you. So please check my class, check the Forest Witch collage. It's absolutely beautiful project. I'm absolutely proud of it, I have to tell you. I think it's lovely. You can probably see these pine cones in there as well in the composition. And if you have a crafty friend who would like to get a gift like an online class, this is the right time to buy it because it's on cheaper price now. And you can also buy a gift card. If you can, share the video about the tree with your friends, because it's a great idea. We still have a lot of time to prepare little Christmas or winter decorations for each other. Maybe you can do it with your kids or grandkids or with your friends, and you can gift it to somebody special. So the more people can see the process, the better. Don't feel like you have to keep it only for on my website. You can share the video on your profile on Facebook, on your Instagram. Share the video with anyone you can, because this way more people can learn about first tips in mixed media, and they can learn about the Christmas trees. And of course, now I have to start thinking about new winter projects, because I'm supposed to make something special for patrons very soon. And I have some ideas I have to try. And next weekend, I'm inviting my patrons for the special exclusive live stream where we are going to create more of the Christmas or winter decorations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending these 2 hours and a little bit with me. Thank you for the donations and for joining the live stream. And guys, spread some love. And make sure that all the friends know you think about them around this holiday time, and have a wonderful time preparing for the celebrations if you celebrate, and if not, have a wonderful winter time and have a great experience. So thank you so much, and thank you to Kel McCracken, who just signed up and she decided to be my patron. I just got the information now. So if you'd like to join, everything is in the description. There are different tiers, and the monthly videos, 2 videos per month, start on €10. On €5, you get occasional videos and activities. And on 25, you got also giveaways. On 50, you get 3 videos. There's plenty of stuff. Just read it, check it out, and I'll be with you again. Take care, Anna and Andrew and Mini Zoo. Thank you, Maria. Yes, we were just visiting our neighbors this weekend, and they have a puppy dog, a tiny puppy. I think, not so tiny, but very young. I think 3 months now. So our dogs will have company to play. Yes. You joined the patron level. Yay, Elizabeth. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Patreon website is the best place to learn, and check it out. I'm sure this is going to be something for you. So the link to the Patreon is in the links below. The link to Finnabair Art Studio with online classes for everybody who would like to learn. It's in the description. My social media is in the description. Happy Christmas, have wonderful holidays, a wonderful winter time, whatever you celebrate during this winter. My wishes go to you. Thank you, and see you soon, guys. I have to take photos of these tomorrow so you can see both. Bye! See you soon. Well, my dirty finger.